continue the class. We were talking about the postmortem report related to any assault or injuries. Basically, postmortem, medical legal postmortem is conducted in the mortuary area, the morgue, on the autopsy table. Modern morgue or autopsy room should be well lighted, well supply of plenty of water to wash the dead bodies, fluids, blood, and other things, liquid things, unnecessary things to wipe away. And it should be well supplied of the natural solution of salt, formalin, and preservative jars to preserve the viscera, to dispatch the viscera to the chemical lab. And the jars are well labeled, well sealed. These are also necessary to, in the end, to seal the jars and send the viscera to the chemical lab for the testing of the poisons. So this is the whole scenario. We will start how to start the postmortem. As a doctor, we require at least some important documents to start postmortem or autopsy. You know the difference between autopsy and postmortem. Postmortem is only the external examination of the dead body, and autopsy is the external examination of the dead body, as well as we will open the body cavities of the dead body, like a head, neck and chest, and abdomen cavity, to examine all the assaults, injuries in detail, to open the cavities and to preserve the viscera for the chemical lab. So this is autopsy. Other autopsies are pathological autopsies, clinical autopsy, negative autopsy, psychological autopsies. So this is we only are the forensic medicine related to the medical legal autopsy. The medical officer with a specialized training to do the autopsy is called the medical legal officer, especially appointed by the government. In our setup, only government hospitals are allowed to run the medical legal setup, to do the autopsies, to handle the medical legal cases in the ER department. And if the dead body of unnatural death comes in the autopsy room, so we shift the dead body to the autopsy from ER and we perform the postmortem or autopsy. Some important documents are required to perform the autopsy. Until and unless these documents are not handed over as a doctor to you, you are not authorized to touch about that area and the scene of the crime. So you must prepare the require the report. Not always required, but you must get help from the report. That is called Panchayat report or Panchnama report. Then we require the authorization, which is very, very necessary. And until unless you have a authorized letter from the area magistrate or the area police, you may not even touch the dead body, perform the autopsy or postmortem. So these documents, the authorization letter, the FIR report by the police, then the Panchnama report. These are few important documents. You can always keep the images in your cell phone, or you always photocopy these documents with you, because at some time you may be see the court about this related autopsy certain objects, not only to identify postmortem or the autopsy. The major cause of the autopsy is to make until this time, some dead bodies are unidentified. Mostly are identified, but some are unidentified. Sometimes dead bodies in the pieces, like in the air crashes or the bomb blast or in some other issues, the body is brought forward in pieces. So to establish the identification, you know the cause of death, there's an air crash, you know the manner of death, you know the time of death, you know the place of death, but you don't know the identification. So mostly we've seen in our setup, the dead bodies are brought forward to establish the identification of the dead bodies at the time of postmortem. You know the identification, you know you are the relatives are very easy. So dead bodies are brought forward just for the identification. So these are the objects of autopsy and postmortem to establish the identification, to know the cause of death, to know the manners of death, to know the position of the body at the time of death by the signs of death, to know the viability of the newborn, stillborn. Then the newborn is the stillborn or liveborn or deadborn. We perform certain tests at the autopsy room, breathing tests of the newborn to establish there's a terminal abortion, there's a liveborn, there's a deadborn fetus, or to establish the viability of the fetus. So these are the objects of autopsy and postmortem. Then we perform the autopsy to open the body cavities, to open the head and neck, then neck, chest, and abdomen. To open the head, by making a round incision, around the skull, vault of the skull. Then we open the vault, scalp layers are detected in the skull. We make the first incision from one mastoid process to other mastoid process over the vertex. We shaved all the hairs of the skull, then we make an incision from one mastoid process to other mastoid process over the vertex. Then both flaps, anterior flap and posterior flaps, are retracted with the help of retractor, and all the scalp layers are incised. These are also retracted, and vault of the skull are before you to saw with the help of electric saw or a manual saw. We saw the bony vault of the skull, and we see the brain matter itself covered with the meninges. We also cut the meninges with the help of scissors. Then the brain matter itself is before you. Sometimes in the hot temperatures, in the hot areas, the brain is not easily available. It is drained from the foramens. The time elapsed 6 to 7 hours, 8 hours. The brain is drained from the foramens in the hot areas, hot temperatures, like in our setup. But in the cold areas, the brain matter is still there. So you preserve the brain matter, preferably to freeze the brain matter itself, and to freeze it for some time. And when it's somewhat hardened, then you make the slices and to check the hematomas, any lacerated injuries inside the brain matter, any collection of the blood inside the brain matter, to see the size of hematomas by making the slices vertically, then horizontally to check the size of hematomas. When there is an injury present over the vault of the skull and scalp layers, there is always hematoma present in the brain matter itself. So to check the size, you make the slices, or to check any aneurysms, rupture aneurysms due to high blood pressure in the natural deaths or in the trauma, the ruptured vessels are seen in the brain matter itself. So to check all the assaults, all the injuries in the brain matter itself, then you write in the postmortem report in detail. Then you check the bony skull itself. Whole bony metal itself is examined for the any fractures, type of fractures. All you know the type of fractures in the skull in the regional injuries. All there are gutter fractures, there are communicated fractures, there are simple hairline fractures. All these types of fractures are seen. So many types of fractures, all seen in detail and photographed in detail. So all these injuries, fractures, hematomas, aneurysms, ruptured vessels, then all the heat hematomas, all these assaults and injuries are recorded in detail, audio-visual recorded or written in the postmortem report. Then you proceed for the neck. Neck our hugging, there are always injuries on the soft tissues, on the skin layers, the great vessels, the windpipe, the muscles, musculatures. Look all the injuries, all the hematomas, all the any inflammatory conditions. All the injuries, all the diseases are looked into the neck structures. Then we proceed for the chest. So how to open the chest with the help of. There are three types of incision to open the neck and chest, and same I-shape incision is continued in the chest. Then simple Y-shape and modified Y-shape. Simple Y-shape starts from the anterior axillary folds to meet the leafy sternum, then same as the I-shape. And modified Y-shape start from the angle of the jaws to meet the mandibular sterni or mid of the mandibular sterni and continue as the same I-shape incision. So three types of incision in the neck, chest and abdomen: I-shape, simple Y-shape and modified Y-shape to open all these cavities to take out the sternum from the costochondral junctions by help of the electric saw, cut these costochondral junctions and extend the rib cage with the help of reflectors. They look for all the structures present in the chest cavity. So the main windpipe, the injuries to the windpipe, the trachea, the dividing trachea, then lung matters itself, the heart, the pericardium, any collection of the fluid, any injuries, any myocardial infarctions, natural, all look in details. All these injuries are looked for in details. Any inflammatory conditions, take out some fluid from the chest cavity, from the pericardium for the chemical analysis or any poisoning present in these fluids. So always look for the myocardial infarctions, any fat embolism. Special tests are performed for the fat embolisms, special tests are performed for the air embolisms. All these tests are performed in detail, and you also send the lung matter itself for the tissue for the histopathological examination, the structure of the lung, if damaged or inflamed, or the heart itself, a portion of the heart may be sent for the myocardial infarctions, confirm myocardial infarctions. You take the photograph first, then you send a portion of the myocardium for the histopathological examination. All these structures are examined as a medical legal officer. Then you proceed for the abdomen. In the abdomen, There are so many visceras: stomach, intestine, spleen, both kidneys, then the pancreas. All these structure, important structure, great. The large intestine, small intestine. First, you look for the any injury. As you open the abdomen with the I-shaped incision, you look for the all these structures macroscopically, not microscopically, macroscopically. Any injury, any assaults, any throbbing, thrusting of the knife or sharp objects in the abdomen to know the cause of death. If there is any, you record all these. Then you say if there is no any injuries are present, you will always send the viscerals for the chemical and histopathological examination. In the viscera, especially the stomach, is stumped from cardiac and pyloric end with the content itself, because all the poisons first stay in the stomach. So stomach is the first viscera, important viscera, where the poison stays first. So poison may be found left in the stomach as a whole. First, you save the stomach with the both ends tied. You put in the bottle number 1 along with the intestine, a portion of intestine 1.5 meter. Both ends are tied and contents of the small intestine. So you preserve these for the diagnosis of chemical analysis. You preserve these both in the natural solution of salt. Then liver is sent, 500 grams in cases of adult, in whole in cases of infant. Then half of the spleen in the adult and whole in the infant. Both half of the kidneys from both sides, not on a single side. You always send the both side kidneys and whole kidneys in cases of infants. You all send these visceras in 2-3 bottles, and another bottle is especially for the blood, for the semen, for any other important chemical thing, like other important the piece of bone, any vitreous humor, and semen, blood. You may also take any other small bottle for these purpose. So special for a special analysis, chemical analysis and histopathological analysis. You all major evidences, all these visceras are preserved, and until unless these reports are again received to you, you may not finalize the report of a postmortem report. So this is the postmortem in case of assaults and injuries. You also look for the assaults and injuries at the time of postmortem. Gunshot injuries, mechanical injuries, sexual assaults, mechanical injuries like incise wound, stab wound, bruises, and stab wounds, incise wounds, fabricated wounds, bruises, lacerated wounds, any other type of mechanical injuries, the thrusting of the pointed and sharp objects in the abdomen and the chest cavities. These always look for these injuries at the time of postmortem, and also for the gunshot injuries. Entry wound and exit wound are also recorded in details. You know the entry wound and exit wound in details, the difference between entry and exit wound, the difference between the entry, and you record all these injuries in details. And in the cases of bomb blast, the body is divided into pieces. In the air crashes, the body is divided into pieces. So always you look for these types of assaults or injuries before starting the postmortem and autopsy. You know the history of the dead body with the FIR report or Panchnama report. The history knows you the cause of death or the manners of death. Period 2, you must match these histories with the real facts of the dead bodies. So you can easily conclude the autopsy report, the cause of death, to the jury, to the medical boards, and medical boards submit these reports by a medical legal officer to the jury, and jury decides the case. So the medical knowledge always helps to know the cause of death to know the manners of death, to know the identification of the dead bodies in the case of unidentified dead bodies. So we always perform the postmortems in drowning, in asphyxial death, in hanging. We are always, forensics are always interested in the homicidal, not somewhat interested in the suicidal, but not interested in the accidental. Always interested in the homicidal death, unnatural deaths, where the relatives brought forward the dead bodies, the emergency service brought forward the unidentified dead bodies, the police brought forward the unidentified dead bodies. The forensics medicine specialist is always called to perform the medical legal officers appointed by the government to perform the postmortem autopsy in the mortuary and give the reports in detail and to submit to the jury. Now I will show you the postmortem report, a sample of the postmortem report, to how to write the postmortem report. What are the sections of postmortem report and how to write the postmortem report. I'm showing you the postmortem report, which is the main topic of today's class. Nowadays, there is no any practical journals in your syllabus. I taken an old autopsy report from a practical for you. This slide is postmortem report. Just main screen of the name.
Shadi?
So this is the medical legal autopsy report. In period days, 5 to 7 to 8 years back, we always asking students to make a journal, medical legal journal, available at the bookshop, to write at least 5 autopsy reports and 5 medical legal assaults or injury reports in a journal, along with the other details of the forensic medicine. In initial, there are at least 5 autopsy reports are examined along with the students. The dead body is examined along with the students. The student have to write at least 5 autopsy reports. This is the autopsy report. The first page of the autopsy report, you see the preliminary section, the particulars, general particulars of the dead body. This is the registration section. This is called the registration section of the dead body. This is called the particulars of the dead body. This is the initial, the medical legal center where the autopsy or injury. ये तो जा रहा है। दूसरे मैंने ये अभी तो करना है, ये चल रहा है। This is the registration section. This is the general particulars of the dead body, then the examination. Postmortem examination, then the autopsy examination. In the initial stage, with medical legal center where the dead body is brought. This is the Dow Medical College and Civil Hospital, Mortuary, Karachi. The Abbasi Hospital and Abbasi Hospital, Mortuary, and the Sindh Medical College, Karachi, and Jinnah Hospital, mortuaries over there, their journals at that time. Postmortem number in the registration section, you always write in your records in the medical legal center. There is always the record with the postmortem number is written over here. Then police station, area police, from where the dead body is brought, is written over here. The date on which the autopsy and postmortem was performed. Memorandum of the postmortem examination held at Civil Hospital, Mortuary, Karachi, on the dead body of son of the parental status of the dead bodies must be written in detail. The name and the parental status. And performed by the doctor, the name of the doctor, medical legal officer, or a police surgeon, or a forensic expert. In the special cases, in the high profile cases, the forensic experts always perform the postmortem. In the routine cases, the medical legal officer or the other senior medical legal officer perform the postmortem or autopsy. Then the particulars, general particulars of the dead bodies, by whom the dead body is brought. By the police station Shersha, written over here. The police station Shersha mobile, the dead body is brought by the police station Shersha, not by the relative. The relative brought the dead body, then brought by the relative or brought by the ambulatory services. So this is the name, the head of the police packet, ASI Abdul Rashid, by whom the dead body is identified. I have forgotten in the initial stages, along with the FIR report, along with the punch number report, along with the authorization letter, you always require at least 2 identifiers. 2 identifiers, whether one must be relative, one may be area relative or non-relative, one must be a relative of the deceased. If the not available, you write over here, nobody is available. You declare the dead body unidentified. So no name, no parental status, or you declare the dead body unidentified. So always hand over the dead body to the police or to sign the receiving report is, by the police is handed over to you. Then exact time of receiving of the dead body. This is important. Exact time of receipt and exact time of departure of the dead body from the mortuary. How much time the dead body is kept under your supervision. So this is important. How much time is body is kept under your supervision? Perform the postmortem or mortuary. So, until unless the police FIR, the authorization letter not handed over to you, you may not write the time. It's not handed over to you. As soon as the authorization letter, the FIR report, the Panchanama report, receiving beginning of the postmortem examination. You must write here because this is important in case of where this is important because when you see the court related with this postmortem report or to brief the court about this postmortem or the examination, you must save yourself if you write the time of receiving and time of departure, how much time that body is kept under supervision. This is the thing that can save you in the court of law. Exact time of the receiving of the dead body, exact time of the starting of the postmortem, exact time of the handing over, ending postmortem examination. So this is important to write the time over here. Substance of accompanying report from police officer, magistrate together. This is important. Which document you received by the police, by the magistrate, with the date of death. On that report, these reports on the authorization letter, they always write the date of death. How much the dead body is old. 2 days period, 1 day period, few hours period, the fresh dead body. This is the important. Suppose cause of death and the reason for examination. The police always write in the FIR the supposed cause of death, the scene of crime, because scene of crime is not in control of a medical legal officer. In the advanced countries, area is always examined by the medical legal officers along with the police, and then medical legal officers always write these documents. But in our setup, the police is authorized initially to do the investigation, the scene of crime. Only in high-profile cases, the forensic experts are allowed. In a routine case, police is always visiting the scene of crime and take the dead body from there, and important clues are also handled by the police. So this is the section to save you the letters from the police and from magistrate and what cause of death according to their reports. So you write over here. Then you start the postmortem examination, the external examination of the dead body. The gender, the apparent age, the race of the dead body may be written over here, initial stages. The male, adult male, apparent age, 25 years, 26 years. The race. Race is not in our important in our section, but where multi-races people live, the race is important in their section. The description of the cloths or the ornaments on the dead body, we always write the important things recovered from the dead bodies over here and hand over to the police. Condition of the dead body, whether dead body is fresh or dead body is 4 days old, 2 days old, 1 day old, or in the advanced putrefaction stage. The special marks on the dead body, you always write the special marks on the dead body, along not on the assaults, not only the firearm bullets, entry and exit, special marks, identifier marks, a mole, a cuts on the exposed parts, on the face, on the hands. You always write the important to identify the dead body. This is also written over the CNIC of the deceased. Condition of the cloths, it is soaked with the blood, it is soaked with the mud, the cloths are The rigor condition of the rigor body, the rigor stripped or not. The body in the primary realization, the body in the rigor mortis stage, or the body in the secondary realization. You must write the stage of the status of the body, the shifting of the dead body, the rigor mortis status. It's passed off, or is developing, or it is developed to the fingers and toes only, or it is developed into all over the body, or the upper portion of the dead body and lower portion of the dead body. Write the status of rigor mortis over here. The general description about the features of the signs of decomposition. Whether decomposition starts or not, the area, bluish area in the right iliac fossa or not, the putrefaction starts all over the dead body. The status is getting on this, in this section. Presence of postmortem lividity, the status of the lividity, the status of the rigor mortis, the status of the decaying of the dead body, the decomposition of the dead body in this section. Then pupil and conjunctiva, the blood is oozing from mouth, nostrils and ears. All this status is written over here. Because this is important in relation with the poisoning. The blood is oozing, the fine froth is oozing, the froth is oozing, something other colored material along with the blood is oozing from the. So this is important along with the other things in detail. Just a minute. I'm sharing the other slides. OS. Ravindra. Second slides, actually folder. Slide नहीं आ रही. इससे पहले वाली कर रही है. दो लास्ट वाली. इससे पहले. इसके बाद में. ये शेयर. उसके बाद वो आ जाएगी. municipal level. So second slide of the postmortem report, the head, thorax and abdomen in detail. As as you open the dead bodies, cavities, as you open the head, the wall of the skull, the scalp layers, then meninges, the brain matter itself, you write in details all. As you see the injuries, as you see the fractures, you write in detail in section of the head. Then as same in the thorax, same in the abdomen, write in detail and which viscera you preserve and send to the chemical and histopathological examination in the section of thorax, in the section of abdomen. You write over here. Third. Then you write the surface wounds and injuries in this section, the surface wound and injuries in the section, all the surface wounds present in the dead bodies. Then can you identify these injuries shown against antemortem in nature or postmortem? When you sure this is an antemortem before death, or you are not sure this is after death, because sometimes the fake injuries are brought, the dead bodies are brought forward along with the dead bodies to hide the original injuries, original cause of death. You must write these are the antemortem injuries, this is the real cause of death. If it's not the real cause of death, then you write these are the postmortem injuries, after death injuries, to hide the real cause of death in this section. Probable time death, time between injuries and death, right over here. Probable time of death and postmortem, right over here. Because this is important time, how much time left, you start to do the postmortem and how much time in between the death and the postmortem. The last one. This is the last slide. Then we end over here. This is the last slide of the postmortem report. So this is the spinal cord. So this is the spinal cord. If you suspect there is a direct blow, direct injuries over the spinal cord, spinal column, you may open the spinal column and write all the details, injuries, preventing conditions, over here in this section. Otherwise, no need to open the spinal or spinal cord. If you send the spinal cord for the chemical and histopathological, right over here, then without any receiving from the report from the histopathological or chemical lab, you may write the opinion, the probable cause of death until unless the reports are received to you. You may retain this column until unless these reports received to you. Otherwise, you may write the suspectable cause of death in this section. For external and internal examination, in my opinion, on the death occurred due to the acute heart injury and brain damage leading to cardiorespiratory failure and consequence of run over of the vehicle in the road traffic accident. In case of RTA, there is the injury to the brain, the injury to the heart, the cardiorespiratory failure leading to death. This is the open cause, no any hidden cause, death is found, and no any viscera sent for the chemical and histopathological because this is a clear cut RTA death, no traffic accident death. Date, the place, and the signature and the stamp make over here. Then you send the special things like bullet, cloths, bottles, handed over to the police officer and signatories. This is all about the postmortem report, right, as a medical legal officer to help the law in case of unnatural death. Thank you very much. Thank you.